Hello and welcome, Exile. Today I want to go over the Dark Monarch, a really must-have helmet for basically every golem build in the game. For the simple reason of it doubles the number of golems you have. This is really cool for a build like mine where I'm using the golems as buffs. Now you might say, okay, it doesn't matter if you have an extra golem for the actual extra stats. Like if you have two ice golems, I don't get two ice golems worth of buffs. I just get the one ice golem buff. But the thing is, this helps for a few reasons. Number one is uptime. If one ice golem goes down, its respawn timer starts and the other ice golem is still up. I did a like 5 risk abomination map, and stone golem, for example, is really important for my energy shield. I think during the entire course of me doing that map, I used up like 5 portals, but the only time the stone golem went down was my buff went down was maybe once over that entire duration of this really rippy map I did, because they were cycling respawning. And this basically means even in super juice content, your golems already have a much more extended, consistent uptime. They're pretty consistent for the most part, but putting on this helmet and being able to double up on the ones where if they go down, you want their buffs, they're still going to be up because one's still alive and the other one's about to respawn, and this one dies and the other one respawns. You get the idea. After that, it gets a little bit hectic because you'll notice I have 14 golems here. How did I get to 14? I only have the +1 from Anima Stone, the +1 from Golem Commander, and the +2 from Liege of the Primordial. That should be 5 maximum golems, doubling to 10. Well, the reason I can get to 14 is because if you use a Golem of the Hordes, which I have over here, Karen Golem of the Hordes, this gives you a pseudo +2 to your limit, which means my limit isn't 5, it's actually 4 or 7, doubled to 14. The thing is, with those extra golems, they have to be summoned as like part of the carrion golems of the horde. Now you might be thinking, why would you do this? You don't necessarily need the buff from these golems. Well, there's a simple reason, and the reason is the main takeaway for why should you use this helmet on a Golementalist build. This Primordial Bond. This notable gives 10% increased damage for every summoned golem you have. Shout out to Seabiscuit, who was in my chat, who's saying, hey, I might try to use that Dark Monarch helm just to get the percent damage from Primordial Bond. I gotta be honest, I think it's a great idea, and that's why I'm showcasing it here, because I think it's really cool. Primordial Bond, 10% per. That means with these 14 golems, every time I have this notable on my tree, it's giving 140% damage, 40% golem buff effect, and of course, it's making my golems a bit tankier. Now I have 3 of those on the tree, which gives me about 420% damage between the 3 of them. And later on, potentially I have the option to add Megalomaniacs to stack this buff even further, because it's just a crap ton of increased damage for the build. So I think that's really cool. It gives you a reason to basically add in a helmet like this on any Golementalist where you're just, whatever you're trying to scale, it's super generic damage, which means it can scale like generic explode stuff along with the skill you're doing. If you're trying to scale multiple different damage types, it's pretty dang nice. The other thing that's nice about it is, of course, let's say you want to tag in a few extra golem buffs. I doubled up on the golems that I would rather have consistent uptime on. Like, for example, I don't really want to lose my attack and cast speed. I don't want to lose my mana regen. I don't want to lose my accuracy, because without this golem, my accuracy is bad. I don't want to lose my dot multi, because it's a big part of my damage. I don't want to lose my percent defense. So I double up on those golems. But the golems I'm more okay with occasionally going down. I ended up separating them out, and I added in a Chaos Golem of Maelstrom to get more consistent Wither uptime. I could also add in a Stone Golem of Safeguarding, which would basically give me, I think I might end up doing this, which would basically give me some extra tank for whenever I get hit by melee attacks. It would just absorb that damage and die instead of me. So I might add in one of those. But it's nice to add in extra, basically, benefits from the other variations of golems that exist and reap the reward, so to speak. It does end up getting very strict on gem sockets, obviously adding all these golems in, so you can pick and choose which ones you run, but that is the idea for playing in terms of a build that's using the golem buffs. As for just playing a golem build in general, where you're trying to stack a bunch of golems, being able to have up to 14 golems for a golem specific build without investing into, you know, the hammer or the amulet, these things that basically are, they're dead gear slots for the most part, they don't scale the build, is pretty crazy, because you can really abuse Primordial Harmony a lot better than you could before. You're dealing with, usually previously on Golems build, you had a much more limited amount of golems you were working with, and you were forced into things that were just kind of rough to make work. And this expands that quite a bit, where you can get extra golem types in to get more percent damage scaling while also having a ton of that one golem type. So I think I might be trying to make a golem specific minion build later on. I like to do one minion build per league, and this thing's got me really excited. So I just wanted to highlight this item because I think it's really cool. It specifically has a roll range. It's not just golems. It can be animate weapons, spectral wolves. It's not just the item. It can roll any number of minions. Specifically, you want the one that says doubling the number of golems, and you can't have other minions besides golems. That's the one you want to go for. So anyways, I just wanted to highlight this item because I think it's pretty cool for anybody playing an Elementalist. Anyways, take care, guys. Have a good one.